Going off the Bronson-Lowry definition of an acid, when dissociated in water, an acid should provide a proton to the solution. This would form a hydronium ion and a negative ion depending on the acid reacting. Strong acids completely dissociate in water, while weak acids only partially dissociate in water. This would lead to an equilibrium with strong acids that is considered irreversible because it would completely dissociate into its constituent ions. Weak acids are considered reversible at equilibrium because they partially dissociate, meaning there will still be a large amount of unreacted molecules left in the solution. A buffer is a solution that resists pH change when an acid or a base is added. A buffer is a mixture of a weak acid and its conjugate base or a weak base and its conjugate acid. So when an acid is added to a solution containing a buffer, the buffer will neutralize the hydronium ions added, and vice versa. The hydroxide ions will be neutralized by the acid part of the buffer. These neutralization reactions will not have much effect on the overall pH of the buffer solution. First, you'll need to calibrate your pH meter. To do this, click on the file, New File, then you'll hit Sensor and you'll click Calibrate. After hitting Calibrate, there should be in the screen in the middle a button that says Calibrate Now. You'll click this and the screen should appear, which will give you numbers, and this is where you will hit whether you are doing the pH buffer for 4 or pH buffer for 7 first. So now to calibrate, rinse off the pH meter with distilled water, add it to the pH buffer 4, wait for the tablet to show a stabilized voltage, then you will put in 4.00, and then you'll hit OK. In transferring the pH meter from one solution to another, make sure to rinse it off with the distilled water. Now you will do what you just did previously with the buffer solution 7, only this time you will hit 7.00 after the voltage stabilizes. Now that the pH meter is calibrated, you will take the pH measurement of all of the solutions given to you during that period. Make sure to clean off the pH meter in between solutions with the distilled water. So after washing it out, you place it into a new solution and you make sure to record the pH measurement shown on the tablet to exactly the significant figures shown. So here, again, same thing. You follow the same steps for all the solutions, and here it is 12.63, and that is what you will record into your lab notebook. To put away the pH meter, rinse it off with the distilled water and screw it back onto the container. Make sure it is tight as to avoid it from coming out. Then you will disconnect it from the tablet. Make sure the stylus is back in the tablet, and then you will carry it over to its proper place for storage. Place the tablet back in the charging port and make sure the pH meter itself is placed upright. For this lab here, we have to take the pH measurements for apple juice, orange juice, hydrochloric acid, acetic acid, sodium hydroxide, NaOH in a solution of an unknown pH. Here we had recorded the pH measurements as well as their concentrations.